Hey guys, what's up?
Hope you are all doing great. In this video I'm gonna share my top 10 tips on how to improve your photography. I don't want to waste your time, so let's get into it. So tip number 1, don't be afraid of failure. Making mistakes is your best friend when it comes to improving your skills as a photographer. The reason for that is how the human brain works, how the human brain is wired. Every time we mess up in some way, we will remember what went wrong, and that as our brain associates those negative thoughts and feelings with our previous failures, that will actually, or should, prevent it from reoccurring in the future. For example, you underexpose or overexpose under certain lighting conditions just because the in-camera exposure meter was off, or you used the incorrect setting, or you didn't adjust the ISO, the shutter speed or the aperture accordingly, and you miss out on an absolutely epic shot. That will create so much frustration and negative feelings that it's just natural, it comes natural that you want to avoid it in the future.
Tip number 2, rinse and repeat. In order to be able to get better at something, you need to do the same thing over and over and over again until it becomes second nature. This definitely applies to photography as well. Let's say you're a landscape photographer. If you shoot the same subject under different lighting or weather conditions, you will start to notice or understand how the light can shape the scene, which features become more enhanced, and how the exact same composition can result in totally different images in terms of the emotion they convey. This of course applies to all genres in photography and to the technical side of it as well. You will gradually become better at everything. You will be making the right decisions on the go without having to think about them at all.
Tip number 3, know your camera gear. You should look at your camera as an extension of your body. If you want to create amazing, stunning images, you need to be able to adjust the settings very efficiently. That's why I suggest you customize your gear as much as possible in order to be able to use your camera's capabilities to its maximum potential. For example, if you shoot wildlife or you want to specialize in high action photography, you absolutely need to know the ins and outs of your camera's focusing system.
Tip number 4, master your composition. Everybody says that light makes the photo, but sometimes the lighting can be absolutely terrible and you can't do much about it. That is why I truly believe that the single most important factor is composition when it comes to creating an image. I could list a number of things about compositional techniques, such as the rule of thirds, symmetry, visual balance, leading lines, but I think we should single out one. That's simplicity. You need to simplify your frame as much as possible and get rid of every single distracting element, or as many distracting elements as possible when framing up your shot. The focal point also needs to be in general very obvious to the viewer already at first glimpse. There can't be any visual confusion.
Tip number 5, find your niche. Find something that you truly love shooting, and the improvement will come eventually. It's inevitable, I can guarantee that.
Specializing in something will also get you much more exposure in the end. Let's say you are trying to get more followers on your social media accounts, such as Instagram. People will tend to gravitate towards you if you keep posting the same subjects, if you shoot the same subject or similar subjects on a regular basis. Saying that, I suggest you don't ever put yourself in a box, you don't limit yourself as to what you can shoot. Excuse me. Also, branching out into different genres of photography can definitely help you improve your overall skills as a photographer, and also may help with inspiration when you are feeling a bit stuck or burnt out. I have 3 different genres that I tend to shoot periodically in waves, such as wildlife, nature, well, same category, abstract aerials, and macro. And recently I started doing a bit of urban exploration and street photography as well.
Tip number 6, be critical of your own work.
You gotta listen to others in your field, which is photography obviously, where at least at your level know what they are doing, or preferably above you, and sort of look at them as mentors, and be open to criticism, keep an open mind, because they can give you tips and tricks and provide you with a fresh perspective that you might not even have thought about when it comes to creating an image. Also keep in mind that everything is subjective and nothing is ultimate. Nobody's opinion is, oh, that's right or that's wrong, but certain standards need to be met when assessing the integrity or the quality of an image. I suggest you be your own worst critique. You gotta be able to stay as objective as possible when it comes to looking at your own image. I'm definitely my own worst critic, because I can see issues with almost every single image that I've taken so far, even though some of them have been recognized on multiple platforms. Whatever. You gotta understand that, in my opinion at least, there's no such thing as a ceiling. You need to be able to learn constantly. I learn new things every single day just by using my equipment or going out and just shooting. Also, technology changes so rapidly these days that if you want to stay on top of your game, you need to be able to adapt. You need to be able to adjust to the ever-changing industry.
So tip number 7. This one is pretty underrated. Beauty is all around us, so keep your eyes open.
Force yourself to shoot something absolutely mundane, something uninteresting, such as a plastic bag or a trash can. In order to be able to create an amazing image, you need to learn about your subject as much as possible, explore it from different angles, different perspectives. Don't ever be lazy when it comes to exploring your subject. Move around, get down low, high. You might be able to see certain features that were not there at first glance. I truly believe that essentially anything can be photographed in a way that makes them look good if you learn how to actually see. This is all about finding interesting features of these seemingly mundane or uninteresting subjects that you can highlight in a multitude of ways. This is all about creativity and just pushing yourself to see a bit differently than the average person. Tip number 8. Don't be a copycat. If you see something on your social media account, an image, a specific location that really captivates you, and you want to replicate the same shot, don't copy it completely. Put your own spin on it, shoot it under different lighting conditions, edit it differently, add different elements, try to explore it from different perspective. Just do it a little bit differently. That is gonna be much more valuable and more satisfying as well.
Tip number 9. Invest into quality glass.
Buying high quality glass is much more important than buying a top tier high-end camera body. Camera bodies these days come and go. The development cycle is usually 6 to 12 months these days, with all the mirrorless bodies popping up, and you could spend an irrational amount of money if you want to keep up with that pace. Also, I suggest you do quite a bit of research in advance when you intend to purchase a new lens. There are a ton of reliable, unbiased reviews online, so you just gotta sort through them.
And we're at the last tip. Tip number 10. Get your images printed.
In my opinion, this is the ultimate goal. Images truly come to life when you see them printed. They look totally differently than their digital version on the monitor. The fact that it gives you a different kind of visual feedback will improve your photography tremendously as well. You will learn more about exposure, color gamut, ICC profiles, which essentially just refers to the color space or how the color space is represented in the print. Print shops usually make these ICC profiles available for download, so you can have a visual representation, a pretty accurate visual representation of how your image will look printed on a certain type of paper, with a certain type of printer and ink used. Anyway guys, these were my 10 tips of how to improve your photography. These have definitely helped me, and they are still helping me to this date, and hopefully they will help you as well. If you like this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you guys next time. Peace!